Um, that's next Sunday, the 21st. And then the 28th, we'll hear from Sarah Balzer, who is moving in, right as we speak, moving into Bethel College. She starts a year at Bethel College, and then on the 28th, she'll share about her experience in service adventure. So serving our world and looking at where is God at work and how can we join God at work. Let's start in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you that it's not just up to us, that you give us every gift needed for your calling, that there are opportunities for us to join you already at work. It's not our invention, it's you at work in this world. Call us very profoundly to where it is you need us to be. And as we hear stories this morning of where it is that you're at work and where we've joined you at work, move something in our hearts as well to give faithful response to your call. Open our ears to hear and open our presenters' mouths to speak and to give testimony to your powerful work in this world. We pray this in the name of Jesus Christ, in whose name we serve. Amen. Well, we have three presenters today. The first will be BJ. She gets to go first, even though she's listed last, because we have Cookie Social today. She's going to talk about the Care Portal, a new ministry that we've had. And then secondly will be Ray and Mandi Dick, and they'll talk about Etc. Shop. And there are many of you here right now that work in Etc. Shop as well, so you can add to that. And then last but not least, we'll hear from Louis Schmidt about the Reno County Food Bank. BJ.
I don't have a lot of notes, but I'm going to kind of refresh your memory on what Care Portal is. About a year ago, Hallie Cable came out and talked to our church about Care Portal. Care Portal is a group of churches that have gotten together or made commitments to the Care Portal to help children in need. And sometimes these children in need is helping a family, helping a mom, a dad, a grandmother, an uncle and aunt, or even a foster care. We are involved in what is called Grid 1. Grid 1 is helping somebody. Grid 2 has to do with foster care, and there was a couple more other grids. But our church is, the Care Portal focus is basically on helping families and children. And they just got done celebrating their first year of anniversary here in July for the organization being here in the state of Kansas. It has been around in Missouri for a little longer than that. It was focused on, or based kind of on helping children from Haiti. So anyways, Care Portal, we signed up last year to help children in our area. Well, where do we get these children? These children, Care Portal has partnered up with Department of Kansas, Children and Families, and so we work through St. Francis here in Hutchinson as well as Newton. And so they, right now, this area is serving anybody in the McPherson, Rice, Reno, Harvey, Sedgwick, Marion County area. And so it's got a pretty wide range of people that our church can be helping with people. When this first came up, I thought this sounded like something that I would like to get involved in, and I felt the call, but I also wasn't quite sure what I was getting my hands into. And so Pastor Wilmer and I have been kind of partnering this relationship in terms of helping these children. We get emails, and we can get 1 or 2 emails a day. We can get, maybe not get any. Sometimes we can get as many as 6 emails a day. I see every email that comes through the Care Portal, and these are from social workers from the St. Francis area asking for different needs. These needs can be anywhere from, I need a twin bed, I need a dresser, we need food, we need a gift card so that they can go buy some food. This help has even been funds have even been raised for helping pay a daycare, because Dad was working. He just got custody of the kids, found out that there was a back pay on the daycare, and so we've helped with paying daycare funds. Rent. Sometimes it boils down to rent. And it's not that the parents are not working, but sometimes situations happen and they get behind on things. Electricity bills, medical bills, medications. Sometimes these are kids that are taken out of the home and they land up with grandpa and grandma or an aunt or an uncle, and they were not prepared for this extra child, and so they need a little bit of extra help to get going and help support this child, and then hopefully at some point in time this child can be reintegrated back into the home. Sometimes it's a matter of helping mom or dad. Their child is going back into the home, and it's a matter of helping them. So Pastor has been sending out the master list in emails and letting you know what some of these needs are. He has been very selective in terms of which ones he sends out. He's been doing it so that it stays pretty much local here in the Hutchinson area, Hutchinson-Buhler area. And in fact, I do know all three churches in the Buhler church, city of Buhler, are involved in Care Portal, and we've had a couple of little meetings to brainstorm. So when you get an email and you see this is something is tugging at your heart and say, I want to help this family, then all you have to do is respond to that email, and it goes directly to Pastor Wilmar. I don't see it until Pastor Wilmar responds back. But it goes directly to him, and then he hits a button on his response computer, and then it goes to the Care Portal organization or wherever this came from, and it goes back to the social worker so that she knows that this need is being met. Sometimes it's a matter of one person calling in and saying, hey, I want to give $50 towards this, and it may be something that they need $200. Well, then another church might respond and say, hey, we've got an extra 50. And it may be that another church responds and says, we've got 100. So then that need has now been met. And it's a matter of making contact, because this was the other thing that Care Portal was supposed to do, was not just handing out money, but trying to build relationships with the people that are involved. And it's kind of hard when you're paying for a prescription or that type of thing. But if it's a matter of getting a Walmart card because they need to go buy clothing, then it is our responsibility as a church to take that Walmart card and to this family. And so that's the hard part of the Care Portal. Collecting the money is the easy part, but it's that going out, making arrangements to go give them that card, or getting that card to them, getting that piece of furniture to them. So that's where I would like to ask for a few people that are interested in participating and helping meet these needs, or getting these items or gift cards to the people. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting the gift card to the social worker. But the whole idea was Care Portal was designed not just to keep on handing out money, but to help build relationships, to help get them on a different track. At the beginning of the summer, we had Becca Lewis here. Becca Lewis was not part of Care Portal, but her whole story is kind of what happened. She needed some help with needs for her family, and she got in contact with a church, and this church helped her with those needs, and it was all it boiled down to was diapers. She just needed some extra help with diapers. And over a period of time of asking for these diapers from the secretary finally says, "Hey, would you like to come visit our church?" And she finally made the commitment to do that, but it was down the road. And this changed her whole life. And this is what Care Portal is designed to do, is to possibly help these people change their lives, their way of thinking, and help them get back on their feet. The other thing, one of the meeting that I attended last spring was by Heidi and, can't come his name, Unruh. But they are part of Circles of Hope. And Care Portal has now partnered with Circles of Hope. And this is, Circles of Hope is designed to help people figure out how to financially handle their funds, how to take and regulate their lives so that they have control of it, and it's not just floundering around. I've got an extra $5. Okay, let's just go blow it type scenario. Oh, what's more important? Do I need to take and save part of this so that I can take and pay my electricity bill, but yet I want to go out and celebrate that I've got this $5. So it's a way of helping them learn how to manage their financial aspect. So Care Portal, like I said, Care Portal, when you get an email, it's coming directly from Pastor, because he's got the master list. They've not given me the master list yet. But he is sending that out, and that is coming only to you. So if you want to respond to it, all you'd have to do is respond back to Pastor Wilmar. Nobody else sees that message. There looks like there's a long list of names on there, but only he sees your message. So if you make the commitment that you want to make a commitment to helping this, then it just comes back to him, and he responds back to the social worker. If you have a need to just put money into to donate money so that when there is a need that Pastor can take and respond to this quicker, you can do that there is a line item in our budget or in our treasury that says Care Portal. All you have to do is mark your envelopes so that they say Care Portal, and the money goes directly into there. And if you've got furniture or some things like that you would like to take and donate towards Care Portal, if you let me know, or Pastor know, I think he'd probably prefer if I knew. So he's got a lot of things on his plate. He doesn't want to have to keep track of furniture. But if you've got some things that you would like to donate, in terms of furniture, twin beds, dressers seem to be the biggest need that comes through. Sometimes, once in a while, it's been a couch. Sometimes it's been a dining room table. But if you've got something that you would like to donate, you're going to have to store it till we need it. But if you let me know that you've got it, then we can respond to some of those needs. Because I do know that last church council meeting, it was brought to my attention that we have an electric stove that's in working condition that is being stored, and trustees would like to get rid of it. Well, if I'd known that just the week before somebody was needing an electric stove, we could have responded. So that's the other thing that I would suggest, is that if you've got something, let me know. So are there any questions? I'll try to answer them. Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Ray and Mandi now. I'm going to go make your coffee so you can have cookie social.
Well, good morning, and we'll try to give you kind of a rundown of what we did and what is being done at the shop, etc., 10 villages, but we haven't been there for at least 4 months, so we'll probably be missing out on some of the things. And there's Harlow and Glennis and Charlie and Joyce could probably bring you better up to date than what we can. But I'll let Mandi talk here first, and then.
Yeah, I want to read the mission statement for the shop. Serve our community in the name of Christ. Provide a vendor to donate used goods. Retail reasonably priced merchandise and friendly practices. Our manager at the Etc. shop is Jane Wagler. She is from Egypt. She met her husband in MCC, and he is from this around here, and in fact, he's from Amish background. Russ Geddard is assistant manager, and I haven't been back since the MCC sale, helping to take care of Ray, which we thank the good Lord for his healing. I went to work at 8:20 in the morning and helped to get things ready for the day. We opened at 9 or 9:30 to 5. Cloris Ants manages with me, and she's very good help besides just with managing. We have a cashier and 2 clerks every day. We hope to have that many. One clerk's upstairs and the other one down. And their shifts are from 9 to 1 and from 1 to 5. They help put things out, the clothing and the household things out at the right places and wait on customers. The clothes are sorted in the back room and priced and brought out. And we have a silent auction that goes every month where the items are priced, but you can bid on them to hire, which works out very well. Then in the evening, I help to close and go to and take the money to the bank. All the proceeds go to MCC. I enjoy working there, makes me feel like I'm worthwhile and helping other people. And we always need more new volunteers. Ray and I met in voluntary service, and I guess that's what's in our blood.
Well, I'm sitting here not just because I'm lazy, because I just can't stand too long in one spot. So I'll try to do what I can from sitting down here. From our church, we have some people that have been working there real steady. There's Harlow and Glennis. They've been there for I don't know how many years, and they've been working as managers at the store. And then Charlie and Joyce, they take care of all the books that come in and sort through them and put out what they can sell. And the rest of them go to Newton to be recycled. Then there's Kenny and Marianne. They've been working there. Marianne, she spends time there probably more than Kenny does, but Kenny did a lot of help with the building and with some other projects around there. And then there's I don't know her first name, but Louis Martin's wife has been spending some time there too. So that's kind of, and I don't know if I missed anybody else or not, but and we have the 3 different shops. There's the 10,000 Village, etc. shop. They're on Main Street, and then there's the Builder's Bargain, which is over on the east side of town there, kind of where people can bring in all their things that they can't use, and with as far as appliances and light fixtures and wood that's usable and all that kind of stuff, and that's turned out to be a pretty good thing. Then with the new building that we purchased over there, the new building has really been something. And Charlie Watkins was the head man on this building project, and he did a terrific job. He spent an awful lot of time there. And then there was Kenny helped, and I think Larry Siemens helped some, and I'm not sure if there's anybody else from our place or not. I helped a little bit, but I wasn't able to do the heavy work at that time. Then the recycling that's being done there from the goods, you don't want to throw your old clothes and shoes and all that stuff in the dumpster. If you take them over there, they're sorted out, and those that can be sold are put out on the floor, and the others are put in bags and hauled to Newton, and there they bale them, and then they send them out every so often by a whole semi-load at a time. The bales are about 2 foot by 4 foot, something like that, pretty good sized bale. I've heard what they weigh, but I'm not sure what that is. And then last year, I don't know how it's going this year, but the prices I think have dropped some, but the last year they had a little over $100,000 worth of clothes that got recycled, so that's a big project there. So like your clothes and shoes and books, they're all recyclable. And then of course all of the things that we have there, now they've got division added where you can bring furniture, used furniture and appliances. And then there's a lot of light fixtures there and plumbing fixtures and of course used wood and stuff that's still reusable. So that's been a pretty good project too. And then the Yoder store, that's kind of under our manager's, that's part of what she does is manages for them as well. And that's about all I can think of at the time, but we do need help, and there's a lot of opportunities there, from working at the store as a clerk, as a cashier, or sorting clothes and things in the back, or bargains, the builder's bargains. There's always room. That'd be something that some of the men could be interested in. It's something you probably know a little bit more about than about all the clothes and stuff. But then, and then in 10,000 Villages, and the store, the new store and all, and since they've redone it, is really something. If you haven't been there, you need to go and look at that place. It's really nice. And the place is 10,000 Villages. You sometimes think that some of those articles are not something what you'd want, but it's a very good place to buy gifts, wedding gifts and birthday gifts and things like that. So that's about all I have. Do you have any questions? Well, it's on 22 North Main. You take it in through the alley there. Yeah. Well, the main store, and then the new addition we got was right next to it. They fixed that building up and then opened some doors into that building, so it's a pretty big store now. And well, you can go in through the front, but if you have any things that you're donating, they usually go in the back door. Of course, some of it does come in from the front, but yeah, no, and that store, it is really nice since they've redone it. Well, to start out with, over at the shop, the sorters in the back, they go through all that stuff, and what isn't fit to sell, they put in bags, and then that's hauled to Newton. And at Newton, they, what? At Newton, it's all baled into the big bales and then sold, and I'm not sure exactly where all of it goes, but some of it is made into insulation, and I'm not sure some of it, if there's any of it's fit to use. I think that has been used, has been done too, but it's mostly recycling of insulation and things like that. Now your shoes are worth more per pound than what clothes are. And then the books, they're recycling the books now too. They didn't originally. So you don't want to throw anything in the trash can. Take it to etc. shop and hope they can do something with it. Then, and as far as people to work, they always need help, and you can do a half a day a week, or as long as you want, or you can go steady, or you can do a half a day a month, or whatever works. And there's room in the sorting room, and then in putting things out, and then cashiers and clerks, people that just help out on the floor, and a lot of it is half day at a time. The what? Oh yeah, they do have a kids room where the kids can. What? I can't hear. Oh, yeah, the tea room. I thought you said the kids' room. No, the tea room, yeah, that's something new in the new building where people can come in and they have tea and they have some sandwiches and things like that. I'm not sure just what all they have because we haven't been there that much since that opened up. And I'm sorry I missed you. I didn't realize you had worked there, I guess. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Good morning. Man's basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing. That's kind of what we're talking about this morning. And I was asked to give a short presentation on the food bank, and then I have realized over the number of years that there is a person in our church who serves on the board of directors of the food bank, and I'd like for her to come forward and talk a little bit about why she got involved with the food bank, and that's Mary Clark. Mary? You see, you didn't know we had a guest speaker, right?
Good morning. I see Lewis has a whole list here, so I won't spend much time. I became involved in the food bank in 2007. I was a member of Leadership Reno County, and at that time, when you were done with the class, you were to pick a project in the community to help serve the community, and the group I was in chose the food bank, and we brought the backpack for kids to Reno County back at that time. And then in 2008, I was asked to serve on the board and have been serving ever since. It's a great place to serve. I love it. You know, you feel like you're helping the community. We are kind of unique. The food bank in Reno County distributes food a little bit different than most other food banks. We actually have a little store. And when I say little, it's little. If you've never been in there, it's just a little room. But we have shelves, and food is out on the shelves, and people actually come in and shop. At most food banks, they pre-package the food, and when somebody comes in, they just distribute a package of food to them. You get what you get. But we think there needs to be just a little bit of dignity when people come in, that they can look at the food and make their decision about what they might want to eat. Instead of getting a can of green beans that nobody's going to eat, they get to pick maybe a can of corn instead or whatever. As a board member, what we do is we help make those financial decisions, you know, what needs to be fixed, what doesn't, and how to best spend the money that is donated to the food bank. In November and December, that is our biggest time that we get the most amount of contributions, both in food and in money. And so as board members, one of the things we do is we work all the food drives. So we have a lot of food drives, November, December. Scouts have a big one in October, and then we help sort that food somewhat, although Lewis and Dorothy do that too down there. They sort food as well. And then our biggest food drive is in May. And if you think about it, you know, everybody thinks about, I want to give in around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and that's wonderful, but really the biggest time or when we spend the most money at the food bank is in the summer, because you have all the kids home. They aren't at the school eating like they are during the rest of the year. And so we have a huge food drive in May. It's called the Postal Workers Drive. Probably some of you have participated in that. That is huge. We get huge amounts of food during that time. Takes a lot of days of sorting, and that gets us through about June, part of July, and then we start, you know, spending a lot of money. When we spend money, when I say we spend money, we go to the food bank of the Kansas Food Bank in Wichita, because we can get food a lot cheaper through there. And the things we buy there are mostly like juice and peanut butter and, you know, kind of the staples through there. And then just rely on donations from the public for the other kind of things, other sorts of fun things that people might want to eat. Just trying to think what else. Anything else? I don't know what else you might want to know, but people always ask, do you ever get scammed? You know, that's one concern that a lot of people have, and you've probably been asked that question too, you know, how many people really are truly in need of food. But years and years ago, the food bank decided that wasn't our mission, to decide who was in need. Our mission is to feed those that come and ask for help. And, you know, how do you decide? I really believe, or I truly believe, that if somebody is desperate enough to ask for help, then they probably do need the help, and we're going to give them that help. I just want to tell one quick story, Lewis, then I'll turn it over to you. One of our food drives we had many years ago was at one of the Dillon stores on 4th Street, and Buhler FFA kids came and helped with that food drive. And there was a gentleman that came in. Nobody paid attention to him. He filled 2 grocery carts full of food and brought them and left them for the kids to sort through, and said, "This is for the food bank." And then he said, "I one time had to ask for help." And this was his way of giving back. So he left, went out to the car, and then came back in and did his own shopping. And the look on those Buhler FFA kids' face was just amazing. They couldn't believe that somebody would do that. And so I think maybe those kind of incidents help change maybe the way young people think, hopefully, and maybe they will, you know, someday give back as well. Any questions? Okay. Yes, there's we have signs on every shelf that kind of have I get quota, I don't know. Or
I think we're given a certain time frame.
Right.
Sort of timed in and out. If, you know,
Right, and then they're limited to like a dozen eggs or so much meat, and then there's different cans. It's kind of a value system almost, you know. You kind of like you can't take 10 pounds of meat and 1 can of corn or something like that. You know, it's kind of basic what you might need for a week or so, week of food.
Answer your question? A little bit of expansion on that. There are different sort of groups of people that come into the food bank. There's the early morning group. This group comes in and waits in the hallway and waits for some of the bakery goods that need to be turned very, very quickly. These people don't have to be vetted or approved to take these things. These things are set out in the hallway after we collect enough, and they all go through them, and you would be surprised how quickly 3 grocery carts of food can disappear. And then there is the group that comes in usually in the afternoon. These are all what we call vetted. These people go through a vetting process done by the Salvation Army. And just to give you a few numbers, and I'm going to round these numbers off. Mary mentioned the food drive in May, which is U.S. Postal Service. This last May, they collected nearly 60,000 pounds of food in one day. And so those of you who live in Reno County, if you hear about the food bank drive in May, that's only one day. It's on a Saturday, and you put your food out, and the Postal Service picks it up and takes it to wherever, and eventually we get to sort it all out. But that only represents about 10% of the food that comes into the food bank during the year. Believe it or not, according to the last statistics, last year they took in about 600,000 pounds of food. Can you imagine that there would be that many people in Reno County that would need that much food? Well, this is another number that's kind of interesting. There's around 6,000 families a year that come through the food bank, about 6,000. You know, some of these are repeat people, but the total units is 6,000 family units. And they estimate that represents, with the families and all, about 15,000 people a year. Can you believe that? Well, this is just little old Reno County, which is only about 50,000 people. If you go to next door to Sedgwick County, you know, upwards or close to 500,000 people, you can kind of multiply those numbers out. And but for those of you who think that people aren't in need, I wanted to make a point that a lot of these families are vetted. You know, they have to meet certain qualifications. So it's not like we're just, you know, willy-nilly giving food to anybody that comes in. These are people in need. I think that's was a real eye-opener to me, and you know, I thought when I first started working there that, oh, you know, there's a lot of people cheating the system, but yeah, there's probably a few, maybe 10%. If you want to argue about the 10%, fine, but I'll side with the 90, okay? Just a few other things. How is the food bank staffed? They have one director who's our supervisor. She's part Native American, and we also work with some volunteers that vary in the kinds of backgrounds they had. We've been working the last year or so with a volunteer who used to be a professor at Hutchinson Community College, and he's there almost almost every day, probably 3 or 4 days a week. He seems to be there every Friday morning. We're there. Very hard worker, and he volunteers his time and gets great satisfaction out of doing that. We have been able to work with people who come from minorities in town. We work with people who need the food bank for their own sustaining life. They might be paid a minimal amount. We also work with people that sometimes come through the court system. You have probably heard of, people that are assigned from judges to be work in community, time in community. Some of these come in and work at the food bank to fulfill part of their time working in the community. So we get to talk to people with some very interesting stories. And so there are some personal experiences that are a great satisfaction to us as we work there. Let's see. One of the interesting things that I found, at least, or have thought about a lot, and Murray said, there's different commodities that we offer, but it's not like going into a grocery store with your list. And you can just try to think of this. If you go to a grocery store, you usually take a list along, right? All your coupons and all the other stuff. And most of the time, 99.9% of the time, you're going to get everything you find on your list, right? You can buy it. You can get it. Well, this is not true when you come to the food bank. You don't know what we have. How can you have a list? How can you have a list? If you need 5 pounds of sugar or 5 pounds of flour, and you're counting on the food bank having it, they may not have it. They may not have it. Sorry, we don't have any today. Now, I want you to think a little bit about what that does to long-term nourishing and your health. If you're interested in having, good nourishment consistently, which contributes to your long-term health, you're not necessarily always going to get that when you depend upon food bank resources. So, it's great to have all this stuff available, but it doesn't necessarily say that you're eating healthy or can get what you want. And, I've always thought that, it's so wonderful that, we have the resources to get what we want when we want it. But what would it be like if we couldn't get what we wanted when we wanted? And I think that's something that we all need to think about. One of the things that you might see in our warehouse, if you ever choose to come volunteer, is sometimes what looks a lot of chaos. It looks pretty chaotic sometimes. Depends upon who's organizing the warehouse, I guess. But we do have one large walk-in freezer. We have 2 large upright freezers, and I think we have 1 large walk-in refrigerator and a couple other upright refrigerators. So we do have refrigerated food, and there are a lot of donations that come in from grocery stores, Dillon's, Walmart, meat that is getting close to the expiration time. We get, see, about a week ago, we got, I don't know, we must have got a semi-truckload of potatoes. And what happens is sometimes, like if a truck has an accident or something, and the food's not necessarily spoiled, but when that happens, it's rejected by most retailers as damaged goods. It's not that food may be damaged, but the pallet might be damaged. And so this food may become eligible to be delivered to the food bank. We never know what we're going to get. But we got, must have been a semi full of potatoes. And sometimes it's a challenge to the director to try to get rid of some of this stuff before it spoils. You know, if you've got, like if you got produce, the produce has got to be turned over every day. I mean, it's already on the margin when we get it. So, you know, it's got to be turned over quickly. So I put my hats off to the director to try to figure out sometimes how to get rid of some of this stuff. And it's not that it's not good food. It's just that it has a short half-life. And not too long ago, we got in a bunch of strawberries. Some of them were good, some of them weren't. Part of the volunteers' job is to sort it out. Every day we get in eggs. One day we had a producer out in the county that brought in 40 dozen of eggs. And the reason she brought it to us is that, number one, she wanted to. Number two, she couldn't get rid of it within a certain period of time, decided to donate it. But all of those egg cartons had to be opened, and it had to be sorted out. You know, any bad eggs had to be thrown away, any cracked eggs had to be thrown away. All that has to be sorted out. So, you know, if you would like to volunteer as an egg sorter, that would be great. You might wonder, well, would there be any opportunity for groups within the church to just work at the food bank for a morning? And yes, there would be. We could schedule ahead of time. If we had about 6 people that would like to experience just kind of doing what we're doing, sorting out things and getting the shelves organized in the little store, you know, we could actually arrange a time that we could have just a volunteer morning just for people in our congregation. So if you'd like to, you know, give it a shot sometime, let me know, and we could schedule something like that. It happens all year long. This last Friday we got off. We did not work this last Friday because they had a group from, was it Dillon's or somewhere? Wanted to come in and work just in the food bank. You know, I have to admire the director of the food bank to try to just take these unknown 6 people and, you know, get something done in the morning, because it can be pretty chaotic. But, you know, sometimes it's fun to work in chaos. The atmosphere isn't all that bad. We have air conditioning, and, you know, the door gets open once in a while. We get a little bit warm, but I think you'd find it to be a good experience. Dorothy, do you have anything to add? Are you sure? Any questions? Okay. Food bank is located, let me give you the exact location. It's in the 1 block east of Main Street on 8th Street. Go to 8th and Main, go 1 block east. The food bank is in the Salvation Army building. It's in the northeast corner of the Salvation Army building. So if you walk right in, the first door to your left is a food bank. And our warehouse is right in back. we're not really, we're a separate organization from the Salvation Army. I think we just lease that part of the building. So also Friendship Meals is also centered out of the food bank, and there's other Meals on Wheels. Dorothy and I work for Meals on Wheels that's centered out of Wesley Towers. So there's several delivery meal programs going at the same time. Usually those meals are paid. You can get meals brought to your home if you'd like. Not in Buhler, but in Hutchinson.
Well, thank you. Let's give a thanks to our presenters. As soon as I thought I knew it all already, and I learned quite a bit this morning about our church and the people that are joining that work and the work that's being done. So keep your hearts attuned to where God is calling you. We have Cookie Social right now, and we'll come back for worship at 10:40 today, so you're excused.